Georgina walks with Emelie back to the dining room. This is Emelie's first introduction to the dining room, and with a smile, pretty much places her down on the bench next to Damien and Tobin and says, "Just remember I'm here for you if you need me, okay?"
Yes, sure, thank you.
Not you. Emelie. And she smiles at Emelie.
Thanks.
I stifle a laugh at Damien answering her and give him a hit on the shoulder.
I shrug and look mildly irritated at Tobin, but don't say anything else.
So do you understand that, Emelie? You can come to me if you need anything at all.
I don't want to.
You don't want to what?
I don't want to because it's dangerous.
Oh, don't worry, as long as you stay away from Elia. As she's the one who's going to be a pain. She's not going to make your life easy. But don't worry, I've got your back.
Is she hurt?
Who, Elia?
You said she was in pain.
No, she will be a pain. I suppose she might be in pain, but that's not really an excuse for what she does. Either way, I'd better go and sit with the other prefects. So you should probably pick up a tray and go up to Mr. Speer to get some food. Otherwise you're going to get very hungry at night, and there's no eating at night.
Okay. Is the trays at the kitchen area? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Tobin and Damien, not in their eyes, but just look towards both of them, and then awkwardly get up and walk to the kitchen area. I still have my plush animal around my arm. I'm stroking nervously as I'm walking up. I feel like everyone is staring at me, even though they probably are not. And I'm looking down into the ground as I'm walking. I don't want to make eye contact. It's difficult for me to make eye contact with people. It's almost painful until I arrive at the kitchen and hesitantly pick up a tray.
Ah, you must be the last of them. A tall black man wearing a chef's gear and a hairnet leans over the counter. He's got a stubble of a beard, slightly thicker at the chin than anywhere else, and a looks like a squashed nose, as if he's been in a boxing fight too many. You're a little too young to be here, aren't you?
I don't know.
Well, I'm guessing you're the youngest here right now. My name's Chris.
Hello.
Hi, everyone around here calls me Mr. Speer. You can call me whatever you like. Listen, I've made some really nice food for your first day here. So I hope you tuck in, I hope you enjoy it. I've got some cod and parsley sauce. And if you don't like that, I've got some steak and kidney pudding. It's a bit mushed up, so, kids like you don't have to spend too long on it. And if you're feeling a little, I guess, like home comforts, I homemade a pizza. A few pizzas. There's a couple of slices left if you want one.
I like pizza.
Yeah? Yeah, sure you do. Who doesn't like pizza? Okay. Alright, just slide your tray along, dear.
I cautiously slide it along. I don't make any eye contact with him either. I just look to my tray.
Okay, baby. Here, baby doll. Here you go. I think you can have 2 slices of pizza, can't you? I think there's enough room in there for a couple of slices. Just don't tell anyone else, okay?
Thank you.
At which point you get shoved from behind by one of the girls who was on the bus. You were just looking straight through this one. Her name, you may have overheard it, was Jackie, although some of the other kids were calling her a cunt. I wanted pizza. I'm afraid there's no pizza left. Well, you gave her 2 slices. I'm afraid there's no pizza left. And she shoves you again. Why don't you give me your pizza? At which point, Speer backs off. You heard me, little girl.
You're not allowed to shove people.
Or didn't you hear me? Just give me a fucking pizza.
You're not allowed to shove people.
Right, I'll just take it. And she reaches over you and grabs for your pizza.
You're not allowed to steal.
Yeah, what are you going to do about it?
Nothing.
You going to hit me with your teddy bear?
It's not a teddy bear. He's a lemur.
It's a lemur? What's a lemur doing on your arm when she takes both slices off your plate? Did it escape from the zoo like you?
No.
You're a bit simple, aren't you? And she taps you on the head. You can see Speer is busying himself now with other activities.
He helps me.
Oh, does he tell you bedtime stories?
Sometimes.
You're fucking mental. He might be the worst one in here next to that stuttering idiot. Well, thanks for the pizza, anyway.
But I don't have anything now.
Too bad. She walks off and sits at a table. You're on your parents' couch. You're watching TV. The volume is low, but so are the lights, and so the only thing illuminating you right now is the flashing of the television. It's an episode of The Simpsons, probably from one of the latter series, so it's not very good, but it's a distraction. It's the kind of thing that your parents would sit you in front of just to stop you from bothering them. But you can hear their voices. You can hear them speaking in their kitchen. Do you know what the nurse at school said? Did you hear? Of course I know what she said. We were both in the meeting. Were you listening? Yes, I was listening. She's been cutting herself. She's only 11. Where does she pick up something like that? Maybe she's just with a bad crowd. Bad crowd? It's not like they're in gangs. She's 11 years old. It would be better if she'd started smoking. Cutting herself? What's she trying to prove? You know, maybe we should try taking her back to that counsellor, family counsellor. We could all sit in a session again. Oh yeah, like we can afford that. We can't afford that. No, we don't earn enough to take her to therapy. She's 11 years old. People who go to therapy are adults, not children. Well, what do you...
Emelie's gonna get up at this point. And walk into, was it the kitchen?
Yeah.
I don't like it when you're
Go
loud.
back to the living room and watch your television. We're having a conversation. It doesn't involve you.
But you're too loud.
Turn the television up, then. We're having a conversation about you, not with you, Emelie. You're in a lot of trouble.
Emelie's gonna go back to the couch and she's gonna cover her ears and turn her face towards the couch, just like she did in the bus on the way here, and try to disappear.
The conversation is more muffled now. You only pick up bits and pieces, and even they don't stay in. It's a few hours later, and you've practically fallen asleep on the couch. Your parents haven't joined you. You're just there. The only company you've got is one of your stuffed toys and your plate of half-eaten pizza. But you hear the doorbell ring. It cuts through your sleepiness. Your dad, looking stressed, goes up to the door. He opens it. I'm so glad, so grateful. Thank you so much for coming out so late at night. It's quite all right. I understand your little girl is having some problems. She really is. She started, and he points at you, she started cutting herself. That is a serious problem. A very serious problem. You were right to call me. And where did you find my contact details? A friend recommended you. Said you were like a door-to-door Samaritan almost, with a degree. That's how he described you. Well, that I've been described as worse. If you could give me some privacy with your daughter, I think I might be able to help. Yes, sure. We'll be... And your mum looks at your dad. We're just going to go out for a walk, if that's okay. Of course, you can leave her with me. She'll be quite safe. And your parents leave you alone in the apartment with this stranger. She sits on the sofa, the opposite end to you. Emelie, isn't it? This woman with her pointed-edged glasses and her tightly bummed hairdo has a notepad in her hand already and a pen in the other.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure to meet you, Emelie. My name is Dr. Crow. Some people in my profession feel it's more of an icebreaker to introduce themselves with their first name, try and appear, like a friend. I believe that to be professional, you must have respect for me, just as I have respect for you. I am the doctor, you are the patient. You follow my advice, you get better. You understand?
What does icebreaker mean?
Have you ever broken ice before, Emelie? Went on a cold day? Walking to school, maybe?
Yeah.
It gives you a cathartic feeling, doesn't it? When you bring your heel down onto a frozen puddle.
It's cold.
And you snap through it. Oh yes, it's cold. Very cold. It's sharp. It stabs through you, but it's also euphoric, don't you think?
Get wet feet.
Sorry, I know I'm... Wet feet, I suppose you do. You're very clever, very smart. That's not what I was told. Now, I am a doctor. I'm a doctor that helps children like you.
Are you a psychiatrist?
And I go... Of a sort. A child therapist. I'm not here to diagnose you. I'm not here to prescribe you medication, nothing like that. I'm here to listen to your problems and to make them go away.
You can make them go away?
I can, Emelie, I can. All you have to do is be honest with me. You just need to be open with me. If you ever have a problem, you can tell me. And when you tell me, I will take it, I will wrap it up, wrap it in a bow, tuck it in my pocket, and it will just be between you and me. It'll be a little gift you've given me. It will be a little gift you've given me because you trust me, and because you trust me to look after it. And whenever we want to discuss it, we can undo that bow, undo that wrapping, talk about your secrets, and then, once we're done with it, we wrap it up again and we put it back in my pocket. Because you don't have to live governed by these things. These things don't need to control you, Emelie. You need to just open up. Tell me why do you think your parents called me?
Because I make them mad.
I think you do. But why do you think you make them mad?
Because because I see and hear things that aren't there.
And can you see and hear anything right now that isn't there?
No.
No, because you know you're safe with me. You see and hear things, I have no doubt, when you're scared, when you're stressed, when you're unhappy, maybe even sometimes when you're really happy.
I don't know.
Well, let's see. Do you get picked on at school?
Sometimes.
And when you get picked on, do you see these things?
Sometimes.
I'm going to ask you a personal question now, Emelie. Do you ever touch yourself in an inappropriate way?
What?
Do you ever touch yourself in an inappropriate way? You can be perfectly honest with me.
What does that mean?
She gestures.
When I go to pee?
And when you do that, do you see these things?
No.
Okay, and she makes a note. This is very important information. You know, different people mature at different times, and you have to be completely honest with me, Emelie. You really do. Now, your
I
parents...
don't want to talk to you anymore.
Well, I'm afraid you've got no choice. Your parents told me that you cut yourself. Well, your dad did specifically. I think your mother was ashamed. Do you realise your mother is ashamed of you?
Yeah.
So, your daddy told me that you cut yourself. Can you show me where?
No.
Why not?
Emelie clenches her arm where she has her stuffed toy on. Because I don't want to.
And she looks at your arm. Was it a different counsellor or therapist, or maybe one of your parents, perhaps a friend, maybe a relative, who suggested that you put that, what is that, a raccoon on your arm?
It's a lemur.
A lemur, she makes a note. A lemur, interesting. And who
They live on an island, and there's a lot of species of lemurs, and it's the only place in the world that has lemurs.
And what do you think?
And sometimes I reach into my pocket, full of glass beads, and sometimes he's hungry, so I feed him. I feed him food.
I see. Well, can I give you...
Sometimes that helps the voices go away.
Stop interrupting me, Emelie. Stop interrupting me. You need to listen to me now. You need to listen to me. I'm not interested in your lemur. I'm interested in you. I'm going to give you a little bit of wisdom. Something that you can take with you. A foot only feels the foot when the foot feels the ground.
Emelie looks at her, completely puzzled.
And she smiles. I think you're going to be spending a lot of time with me, Emelie. I can see that you're very troubled. I can see that you have a lot of problems. But trust me when I tell you that spending time in my company, under my care, will make you so much better. You will make your parents proud of you. They won't hate you anymore. They'll love you, like I'm sure they used to before you started having all these problems. Wouldn't that be nice? It would, wouldn't it? Would you mind if I fed your lemur? I see.
Yeah, that would
Well,
be
one
nice.
thing you're going to have to get used to is sharing your things. Because when you come to stay with me, and you will,
No, you can't. It's only me that can.
there's a lot of other children, and they'll all be your friends, and they all share.
No.
I'm going
No.
to leave you now. I've already
It's my Pete's.
gained a decent assessment of who and what you are.
It's like no. It's
And at this point, you start seeing it. The bugs climbing underneath the wallpaper, scuttling across the coffee table, pouring out of the TV remote control, and your arms and your legs start itching something frantically. And Dr. Crow, she looks that way as well. But she doesn't look like a bug so much as she looks wrinkled and warped and a strange mottled shade of red and brown. The only thing insectoid about her are the eyes in her head, of which she has many now dotted, not just in the area where her eyes should be, but all across her face. And within her mouth are several rows of gnashing teeth that all smile at you in slightly different angles. Antennae sprout from her head all of a sudden, splitting her skin, and they twitch in your direction. You will be quite safe with me at St. Jude's.
at that point, Emelie is gonna take a magazine that's on the coffee table and roll it up. She's gonna jump on the sofa and begin smacking her. It's on you. There's something on you. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it away. Don't worry. It's just sit still.
Crow doesn't swat you away, doesn't backhand you, doesn't admonish you. She just stands there smiling as you ineffectually bat her about the head and shoulders with your rolled up magazine. Every single time you hit her, it's as if a gushing torrent of these bugs spill out from an open wound. And by the time you're done, she no longer looks like a cross between a human and an insect, but like something out of the worst, almost most puerile depictions of your illustrated Bible. The one you were given when you first joined primary school. The one that depicts Lucifer in all of his red-skinned and horned glory. The antennae are replaced with rows of these horns. Her eyes are yellow, her skin is red. She would look anachronistic if the fire from her skin wasn't so hot as to burn the magazine in your hand, and if her face wasn't contorting into an awful, awful frown combined with a snarl.
I'll be seeing you, Emelie.
You hear the door slam behind you.
Emelie is gonna drop the magazine since she thinks that it's on fire and turn away from her, crying, screaming, hiding her head.
There's no noise, no sound that follows for the next several minutes. It would appear that Dr. Crow has indeed gone. It's a good 15 minutes later that your parents come back. Emelie, what are you doing here by yourself? Did you scare Dr. Crow away? Have you been setting fire to our magazines? You see that the magazine was actually aflame and is now just blackened pages on the carpet. Where all the bugs have disappeared, the magazine's damage has not. Get to bed.
No, it was just it's Lucifer.
Get to bed. God's sake. This was the possibility for us to get you some help.
It's not real.
Now I'm going to have to get on the phone to her and apologise.
It's not real.
Get to bed. Don't bother brushing your teeth.
Sorry.
I'm sorry I didn't help you out with your pizza. Speer interrupts your daydream.
It's okay. I wasn't really hungry anyway. Thank you.
Do you want some of the... Look, the cod and parsley sauce is still good.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course you will, yeah. I think it's the best thing on the menu, honestly.
Okay.
And he drops some onto your tray. Enjoy it.
Thank you. I'm sorry about the pizza.
Oh,
It wasn't on purpose.
no bother to me.
Emelie walks back down to Damien and Tobin.
I sigh a little, having been watching the whole thing happen, thinking to myself how stupid it is that this little girl is even here. This isn't where you put 10-year-olds. Another thing to note about this place. But seeing that Emelie has some food, I won't say anything.
During this time, I've been watching Damien, watching Emelie. Got lots of things I'm curious about this guy. Talking about taking out one of the prefects. He's probably killed someone. Like a teacher. Like a PE teacher or something. He probably killed his PE teacher. I sit as I stuff my mouth with pie, feeling the aches from my nose, which is now somewhat better looking than before, though there's started to grow a slightly bluish tint under my eyes from the hit. I didn't really watch what happened with Emelie, but as she comes back, I say, "So what did they do to you?"
She was hungry. So...
This Georgina? She messed with you? I heard Aaliyah's real shit.
Yeah, she didn't get any pizza, so she...
They had pizza?
Yeah.
Didn't have any pizza when I was there.
I don't know.
I look over to Damien, as he's been watching her this whole time.
I look back.
What's he talking about? There's no pizza. There's pie and cod.
I don't know. Maybe there was pizza when she went up. Does it really matter? It's all rubbish anyway.
She took my pizza.
Yeah, I know.
Who? What? Who did?
Oh, what's her name? The girl you punched on the bus.
McCant?
Yeah.
McCant took your pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she had a different name, but yeah, that one.
And I look over and I kind of stand up and look over the cantina to see if I can spot Jackie somewhere around there.
Yeah. She sat with a bunch of the other kids, triumphantly eating her slices of pizza, or one of them anyway. She has a real smug look on her face.
Oh, I want to wipe that look away. I'm so angry with what that bastard Isaac did to me. I feel I want to just pass it on to someone. I get off the bench and I stop moving over to her to find a place opposite her, and if there are other kids there, I'll just stare at them and tell them to move out the way.
I half say, as you leave and then go out of earshot, Tobin, don't even bother. Oh, there he goes. Right, great. And then just sigh as I watch.
What is he doing?
Jackie looks up and sees Tobin. And she cringes slightly when she does. You're that wanker that hit me on the bus.
And you are picking on 12-year-olds, McCann.
Fair's fair. Pizza wasn't being served when I went up, and I like pizza.
I wasn't served pizza either. I don't go steal from 12-year-olds for that, McCann.
Well, what are you going to do about it? Take it out my stomach?
I look over. Does she not have anything left?
There is a slice still on her plate.
See, you've got some left there.
Yeah, and I'm hungry. It doesn't look like you need any.
No, I don't. But that little girl is hers. And I think you should give it back before her love interest, Damien, who, by the way, killed his own PE teacher, decides to have a little way with you.
You're friends with some kind of pedo?
Yeah, he is. Messed up beyond belief. Heard he got it from his parents.
Ugh. It made me feel sick. Fine, you can take the pizza slice. See if I give a shit. And she pushes it across the table. The plate clatters off onto the bench and onto the floor. I suppose you'll have to scrape it up. I'm going back to the dorm.
I give her an ugly smirk. But, I say, I know you'd do the right thing, McCann. And I kneel down to get it up. And bring it back to Emelie. Just put it next to her and not say anything.
She shouts across the dining hall as she heads past. Enjoy your pizza, you fat fuck with your pedo friend and your little girl victim. No one cheers with her or anything like that. It's clearly just her feeling aggrieved. To be honest, you can see around you throughout the dining room there's signs of minor conflict. There's lots of this sort of hedging and brinksmanship of people stealing bits of each other's food and edging people out and already choosing where the most popular tables are, that kind of thing. It's all very much the first day at school if your school was on a gateway to hell.
Alright, I don't say anything then. I just take the victory for what it is at this point.
Emelie is looking at all of this and is sitting there with an open mouth when you come back, in awe of what just happened. And for the first time since you met her on the bus, she actually looks you in the eyes. She has these very, very light steel grey eyes, and she stares at you. Why did you do that?
And now it's me that get uncomfortable. So you kind of see me blush with my blackened eyes. I just look away, and this time I don't like her very much, and I just put the pizza next to her stuff. You don't have to eat that, it's been on the floor.
You got my pizza back.
Yeah. And I just sit down next to these people.
I shake my head again, remarking quietly, "You really do like doing stupid stuff. You're lucky that one's not a threat. Not the biggest one, anyway."
Emelie is gonna move close to Tobin and take her pizza with her and just sit uncomfortably close to him and lean her head on his arm and whisper, "Thank you."
Yeah, and I'm getting incredibly uncomfortable. But I pretend to be cool, trying to sit there and just like, yeah, hey, hope it's good. Can you believe we're gonna have to go to mass and pray like twice per day?
No.
No, that sucks.
Sounds weird. I don't like churches.
I lower my voice, looking around then, and then remark to the pair of them, "No, it's weird, really weird, but if I were you two, I'd just go along with it. Just repeat it, doesn't mean anything. So just go along, make them happy, but it is weird, it's really weird."
Do you think God exists?
No.
Do you think Jesus exists?
I blink a little, then realizing that I'm directing this at this little girl and not Tobin, and I just say, "I mean, you know, you can believe in it if you want, Emelie, yeah, but I don't know."
I don't believe in God. I don't think Santa is real either. I learned that last year.
Oh. Well, yeah, that's true. Spoilers.
I just lean my head into my hands. Where have I ended up? So, who did you have? And I look at Damien.
What do you mean?
Who was guiding you?
Oh, Firestarter boy. Poke. Dylan.
Firestarter?
Yeah, he likes starting fires.
Wow. Did you actually... I mean, you don't have to answer it, but did you actually kill someone?
What? No.
Yeah, like a teacher or something.
Why would... Oh, come on, man. You actually go to... I'm 16. I'd go to a better juvie than this. This isn't even proper juvie. Well, it's not
You're
supposed to be
16?
anyway. Yeah. Yeah.
Look like you're younger than me.
Thanks. No, I didn't kill... Why would you... What? Why do you think that? I didn't kill anyone.
I just look at you, assessing you. Just shrug.
Why have you?
No, I do. Yeah, sure. No, I never killed anyone. I stole stuff. That's all.
Oh, alright. That's not so bad. No, I haven't. Although, I won't lie, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people here have. This place is not right. You know, this isn't how these sort of things should be run. You don't mix ages like this. They're barely anywhere. There's barely any adults. I thought the worst thing here would be the adults on your back 24/7. I'm actually starting to think that if I went over and punched someone in the face, it would take them like 5-10 minutes to even come and stop me, you know?
What about you, Emelie? Do you like setting things on fire?
I once set a magazine on fire, but I don't remember doing it.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I say trying to sound sympathetic, but thinking that maybe there's something amiss with this little girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know, I guess.
I did it inside the living room, and my parents got really angry with me, but it was because Emelie is just about to say what she saw when she did it, but she realizes that it was probably not real, so she doesn't continue her sentence.
But yeah, your house didn't get burnt down.
No, it didn't. It wasn't on purpose, but yeah, it just happened.
Is that why you're here? Because of that?
No, it's because I'm made... because I'm mental, they say.
Okay, yeah, I guess, we're all mental. Especially this guy, I say, and not towards Damien.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you mental, Damien?
No, but if he wants to think I am, that's fine. I don't really care.
What does it mean to be mental?
Okay, everybody. The prefect you had introduced you as Clifford Price is standing on a table. You've got 2 minutes to finish whatever slops in front of you. No offence, Mr. Spear. And then it's back to your dorms. It's an early night tonight. And the start of lessons tomorrow. So I suggest everyone gets as much sleep as they can, okay?
See you later, I guess. I say, and I stand up and go leave my tray and get out of there.
Yeah, thank you, Tobin, for your help.
Yeah, Emelie, good night. And I'll be beside Tobin just for a moment and just say, hey, listen, just, when you're not showing off or doing stupid stuff, just keep an eye out, okay? Just look. Use your eyes. Those things ain't right, and I think if you and I, we just pay attention, maybe we can figure it out or something.
You so kind of paranoid, boy.
Yeah, so? You never heard the saying that you're not paranoid if they are out to get you? I smirk.
No.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe they are out to get me. Listen, just look out for yourself. Am I that stupid? Already, you can tell these prefects are fucked up, most of them, yeah? But I think the key to survival might be that if we can draw a wedge or something, yeah?
Yeah.
Make them hate each other more than us, yeah?
Yeah.
If I think about it, what happens if that Aaliyah and Isaac, if they went against each other? That could be interesting.
Yeah. They are the fucked up ones, and you're the normal ones saying these things, man. You're lit. You're great, you know? Okay.
Okay. Alright then, Tobin. Try not to get punched in the face again or anything, yeah?
Yeah.
Are all three of you heading back to the location of the dorms?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'll be heading back, and while I'm doing that, I do, just at that point of the conversation, just start looking around and just see, has anybody been watching us while we were all talking? Any of the kids at all? Any of the prefects?
Looks like Isaac and Clifford, who was just speaking, are huddled together and occasionally looking over at you, or at Tobin, given that the two of you are next to each other. It's difficult to tell who.
I nod to myself, and after finishing talking to Tobin, I just walk off. I don't walk with him, I just walk straight back to the dorm.
The next few hours are uncomfortable. When you arrive back at your dorms, those of you who haven't already had your bags or cases searched find that they've been emptied on various beds. In fact, sometimes scattered across beds and the floor. It's difficult to find all of your stuff. The wailing starts around this time. Some of the children clearly don't believe they belong here. All of their things, their only attachment to the normal world outside, have been scattered about, stolen, or otherwise lost. The beds you're expected to sleep in are fit maybe for a prison or some kind of punitive camp, but certainly not a home for children. It's worse in the girls' dorm than it is in the boys'. The quarters are incredibly cramped, and for both of you, or both dorms, it's freezing cold, just utterly freezing come the evening. So wrapping up under your blankets is a necessity. No one is making the effort to make light conversation. people are just trying to keep themselves, get their heads straight based on everything they've encountered already and what may come. As you've already been told, some of you may be here for the duration. Some of you may only be here for a short amount of time. Not knowing what the criteria is to get out is definitely troubling. Psst. Psst. Tobin.
What? Who?
You can recognise one of the boys. You vaguely recognise him from the bus. You think he went to the same school as you at one point. Yeah, it's a boy by the name of David Jones. I thought it was you.
Hey, I know you. You're David Jones.
Yeah, that's right. I lived in Larkhead with you for a little while. Well, near you for a little while.
What did you do?
I got caught dealing drugs. Nothing heavy, just a bit of pot, a bit of some party drugs, MDMA.
I'm quite impressed at this and a bit, can't say if I'm put off or impressed really, it's somewhere in between. Wow.
What about you?
Shoplifting?
Yeah?
Yeah, some friends kept doing it and I wanted in, I guess. Then, yeah, that went very well.
That's alright, you won't be in here long if all you've done is stolen something.
Yeah?
Yeah. Who ever heard of a kid being put away for a long time for putting their hand in the till?
I don't know. And I lay there and I just kind of look up at the... Are there bunk beds, or what
yes.
is it? Yeah. Just look up at the bed above. I don't know. I don't know how bad this place could really be, I mean, school's not fun in the first place.
Shh. And he pretends he's asleep.
I just make up my mind right then and there that I'm not gonna try and even get my smartphone out from behind the locker there where I threw it in. Not until I'm completely alone in this place. I'm just gonna lie here. All my books have piss on them. Most of my clothes have too. I'm just gonna... Who cares? I just lie and look up into that bed above.
Could you make a perception roll, please?
$17.
Very impressive. Out of the corner of your eye, and there's definitely a fear preventing you from turning your head, you spot Isaac and Clifford and Dylan slipping out of the door.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played the scenario It Started and Ended with Screams for KULT Divinity Lost, from the upcoming Screams and Whispers scenario collection. The scenario was written by our friend Matthew Dawkins, who was also our game master. Joining Craig and Hjalmar as players was the talented Klara Herbøl. The music was made by Atrium Carceri and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody, dark ambient for your gaming table. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, David Hagberg, Camilla, and Ludwig Manford for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, this show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for KULT Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Kult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember, death is only the beginning.